lovely language learners, it's Mork Sensei and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing the final in the three-part series on the book, Our World Today. There will be links posted below to each section or each chapter of today's video, so check through those when you need them. And let's get started. Hydroelectricity is electricity generated by the flow of water. Usually in an area with steep land elevation changes, a dam is built to increase a reservoir of water. Gates are used to control how much water flows from the reservoir. This water is used to move turbines connected to machinery that generates electricity. The amount of electricity generated depends on how much water flows through the dam. Some hydroelectric power plants are built on natural waterfalls, so they use natural water flow to generate electricity without the necessity of building a dam. Some practical advantages of hydroelectricity are reliability, flexibility, and price stability. It is reliable because it does not rely on natural resources. It is flexible because it can be adjusted to demand by opening the gates more when consumers need more electricity, or by partially closing them when consumption is low, for example at night. The price is stable because water is a domestic resource that does not need to be imported. Additionally, it is also environmentally friendly because it produces much fewer greenhouse gases than coal, gas, or oil power plants. It is also a renewable energy resource as it uses running water to produce energy without depleting it. Modern turbines can convert as much as 90% of available energy into electricity, compared with a 50% conversion rate from fossil fuel power plants. Although hydroelectricity's advantages make it look like a promising and green way to generate electricity, it has some drawbacks. The generation of electricity does not produce greenhouse gases, but the rotting of plants in the reservoir can produce methane, a greenhouse gas. In addition, when the water reservoir is built, it is likely that the habitat of plants and animals in the area will be destroyed and people may need to relocate. Another problem is that fish may no longer be able to migrate downstream to the ocean or upstream to spawn. Habitats downstream from the dam are also affected, as low oxygen levels can cause harm to plant and animal life. When the dam is closed, riverbed erosion can also destroy habitats and lower the groundwater table. Photovoltaic cells, known as solar cells, are devices which collect energy from sunlight and transform it into electricity. These cells are assembled into panels, which can be set on rooftops to provide electricity on a small scale or in large areas called solar farms. Generating electricity from sunlight is a very interesting idea because every minute the sun showers our planet with enough energy to supply mankind's demand for an entire year. Although a prominent renewable source of energy, solar power is not truly green. The industrial processes used when manufacturing solar panels not only use toxic materials, but also release gases more dangerous than CO2. Also, at the current state of technology, the lifespan of solar panels is around 20 years, which makes the use of them a large investment for most households. Once a panel reaches the end of its lifespan, careful disposal and recycling procedures are necessary to ensure the environment is not polluted. The solar energy industry, along with governments, should work on practices that oversee the entire life cycle of solar panels. It's important to reduce and eventually eliminate the use of toxic materials during manufacturing. Also, they need to develop and maintain recycling technologies and practices. The manufacturing problems and short lifespan of solar panels might discourage some people, but as technology progresses, operation costs, maintenance, and disposal are likely to become more affordable. In addition, as the technology is quite new, with continued research, the lifespan and financial benefits of solar panels are expected to increase. Investing in solar panels for your house now might not bring direct financial benefits for you, but it could help in the bigger fight of pursuing a renewable source of energy that will restore our planet's equilibrium and maintain the environment for future generations. You may think that using the wind to create power is a recent development. Of course, the technology being used is constantly evolving, but the basic principles have not changed. Scholars think that the first windmills were used either in Babylon, 2000 BCE, or Persia, 200 BCE, to grind grain. Much later, in the 11th century, windmills were introduced to Europe. A basic wind turbine has three main parts: rotor blades, a shaft, and a generator. Basically, the wind turns the blades, which spins the shaft. The shaft is connected to a generator, which creates electricity. There are two main types of modern wind turbines. The most common type of wind turbine is the horizontal axis type. Most horizontal axis wind turbines have 2 or 3 blades. These turbines face the wind to create energy. Often many of these turbines are placed close together to make a wind farm. The second type of turbine is the vertical axis type. These are often called Darius wind turbines, after Georges Jean-Marie Darius, the man who made the design. One advantage of vertical axis turbines is that they do not need to face the wind. Unfortunately, these turbines require a lot of maintenance. Because many countries are trying to reduce their dependence on fossil fuels, wind energy is one of the fastest growing energy sources in the world. Two of the main advantages of wind energy are it is a clean and renewable source of energy. Unfortunately, there are also some problems with wind turbines. The energy supply can be unreliable because turbines cannot generate energy when there is no wind. Also, the blades can be a threat to wildlife such as birds. Finally, some people complain about the noise and visual pollution. Although the first nuclear reactor was built in 1942, the first full-scale nuclear power plant was opened in England in 1956. Since then, many more nuclear power plants have been built around the world. As of 2016, there were 450 nuclear power plants in 31 countries. Nowadays, the demand for energy keeps increasing, while at the same time, public opinion pushes governments and companies to reduce carbon emissions. Nuclear energy seems to be the perfect solution because it is a relatively clean source of energy that requires few resources to operate, produces energy in abundance and emits low quantities of CO2. However, it has disadvantages that have negative impacts on our environment. Two problems associated with nuclear energy are the lifespan of nuclear reactors and the disposal of radioactive waste. The reactors used by nuclear power plants have a lifespan of roughly 40 to 50 years and need to be replaced so the power plant can continue producing energy. Also, the fuel used by the reactors is highly radioactive and needs proper disposal. Currently, there are two main ways to deal with radioactive waste: reprocess it to extract fuel, or bury it deep in the ground and risk soil and groundwater contamination. Additionally, there are safety hazards associated with nuclear energy. In 1986, there was a nuclear disaster in Chernobyl, Ukraine, when one of the reactors exploded. Many people died, and the area close to the power plant is still very dangerous to humans due to the high levels of radiation. In 2011, another disaster happened in Fukushima, Japan, after a powerful earthquake and a tsunami damaged the cooling system of the reactors, resulting in explosions and a lot of radiation released into the atmosphere and the area. Right now, it is clear that a decision must be made. Should we replace aging reactors and keep investing in nuclear energy? Or should we invest into developing new sources of energy? Okay, my lovelies, that is it for today's video. And that's it for the series. We'll see you in the next video or series. I don't know when that'll be because I'm a busy teacher. I'll post when I have time, and I look forward to it. We'll see you later. Mork Sensei, signing out. Mwah.